Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best recent cutting edge science-based tools, brain body tools, so you can make better decisions, adjust your actions, feel, look, and do your absolute best. That is what this podcast is all about, folks. The best tools so you can design the exact life experience and journey that you want. And as we know on this podcast, it all comes from your brain. The brain is your command center. It gathers all the information from the outside environment inside of you, your past experience, your possible futures, and then it gives you feelings, thoughts, and ultimately makes you to take certain actions to possibly give you the best course of action to get where you need to get. The thing though, folks, about the brain, as we often don't understand, the brain's primary purpose is our survival. Is because in order to thrive, in order to achieve our goals, we first need to make sure that we survive. We need to make sure that everything in our body works well. We need to make sure that we have enough energy. We need to make sure that we have physical foundation, that our physical body works well to carry us through life, to take the actions and to achieve our goals. And so when we set certain goals in our brain, consciously we decide we're going to achieve certain thing. We need to make sure that we give our brain all the signals about how we are safe and we can actually take the risk, take the opportunity, take the leap, and get out there and take new actions to achieve goals. So when it comes to weight loss, or when it comes to personal fitness, if you don't want to self-sabotage and then wonder, why doesn't my brain make me do what I want to do? Why doesn't my brain allow me to lose weight? Why doesn't my brain shut up and makes me not hungry, right? Why it seems like the brain plays against me and makes me hungry and makes me want to eat or want all this food when I work on my weight loss. Like, why is that? Well, the reason why is because your brain doesn't know about your plans, that there is a supermarket everywhere, that you can get your food 24/7. Your brain is still this instrument that evolved on savannas of Africa, that where the food was scarce and you never knew where it would come. And that's why, we evolved to store fat as our energy reserve. And whenever we see the food and there is a possibility to get extra calories and nutrients, we want them. And if we don't create certain conditions to let our brain know that we are in the environment of thriving, of abundance, versus scarcity and not having enough of the essential nutrients, then your brain gonna sabotage your weight loss efforts. Because when you don't take care of your nutrition, that is the main point of today's conversation, folks. When you don't eat all the essential nutrients, and by essential nutrients, we don't mean just calories, because you don't need just calories. You need 30 plus essential nutrients as the science stands for now. And then you need your essential proteins and your essential fats, and carbohydrates are also sent as special signal to your brain, whether you are in the environment of abundance or scarcity. For example, I'm going to go a little bit sideways before we get to the main topic and practical takeaways. Low carb and keto diets are very popular these days, and some people do it, for weight loss, a lot of people actually, and then some people talk about longevity, and obviously there is medical application. And you often will hear in the literature that ketogenic diet resembles a fasting state in the body, like the body starts to produce ketones to fuel our cells, our brain, to give energy to for all of our activities. So keto resembles fasting, but fasting is not a state of abundance. It's a state of scarcity. And so when you go keto and low carb, you send your brain a signal that we are in the environment where resources are scarce. And so initially it kind of works, but what I noticed among my clients and me personally, then your weight loss kind of stops, and more often than not, you start craving everything. And that's a natural response because you just sent your brain a signal that we are in the environment of scarcity. We might be starving. So whenever you get the opportunity, get all the calories and carbs you can get so you can pick up some fat tissue so you could survive longer. And so that's the problem with low carb diets. They say, well, carbohydrates are not essential. Well, that the judge is still out there. There are a lot of processes we don't really understand about our body and brain and how they work. We know that brain, for example, as the whole nervous system, are very glucose dependent, and they love glucose and they use glucose preferably for a lot of processes. Now, just because we can survive with very little or none of that doesn't mean that that is the perfect state, that is desired state. The same goes, folks, to a lot of diets. The first reason why so many diets people go on fail and not sustainable, because those diets miss essential nutrients that give the signal to your brain, to your whole body, that this is the time of abundance instead of this is the time of scarcity. You go on a diet and you give your brain a signal, or we are about to starve, resources are scarce, and if you want to survive, you probably want to pick up again some weight and upregulate my hunger. So that's what you do when you go on a diet that is not well designed, that misses a lot of essential nutrients, maybe proteins, essential fats, vitamins and minerals, and you don't pay attention to that, and your brain gets the signal. Again, the times are tough. We are in the environment of scarcity, so we need to change things up a little bit to make this person hungrier, to make this person more motivated to go out there and seek out food. And when we get that food, get as much as possible and then pack up more fat on. So that's why a lot of diets are so stupid, dumb, and unsustainable and actually designed to long-term sabotage your own efforts of changing your body weight, changing your body composition, and maintaining that. For most of you folks, unless you're preparing for some competition, and you plan to lose the weight and then you are okay with gaining that weight back. Unless that is the case, for most of you, your goal is to adjust your body composition, your body fat percentage, your weight, and then keep it there. And because of that, you need to have a different strategy. You need to give your brain a signal that you are in the environment of abundance. Now, yes, you will most probably cut down some calories, even though in my 10 year of my experience, a lot of people start cutting those calories and losing weight without thinking about cutting those calories. And I'll explain to you why during this next few episodes, where we're going to focus on brain-centered weight loss, and how, again, to give your brain the right signals so it allows you to lose the weight, maintain that weight without upregulating hunger, without turning you into an I'm gonna eat all of it monster, craving and seeking all the foods, right? We're gonna learn how to design your environment, your behavior in a way that when your brain becomes your ally in losing weight, because ultimately your brain wants you to be fit, wants you to thrive. But the first priority is your survival, and going on those unbalanced diets is not the signal that everything is good. It's a signal that everything is about to go bad and we need to survive and first of all eat and get that energy wherever we can and as much as we can, right? Now let's get to a little bit to history, like why so many people eat so much, overeat, why hunger of so many people is not aligned with their ideal body composition. Back to that signal about abundance and scarcity of the environment. The state of our soils has been declining. It means that all the foods, even if you eat a very good, balanced, variable diet that has a lot of fruit and vegetables and different other food groups like dairy and nuts and seeds and beans and organ meats, even though most people do not eat that kind of diet every single day. But even if you were to eat all of that, chances are you're still going to be missing some nutrients, because those nutrients are not in the soil, and when they're not in the soil, they're not in the plants and they're not in the animals. And so eating the same foods today and eating the same foods 100 years ago is not the same thing. So that would have been shown by all the data that we have. I want you to understand that. And I want you to understand that because that is the reason why, working with all of my clients, I recommend essential supplementation. By essential supplementation, I mean supplementing with essential nutrients that we know our bodies need to thrive. Taking your multivitamin, certain additional minerals that don't usually go in multivitamins, taking your omega-3 fatty acids in sufficient amounts. So all of that, I focus with each of my clients, because we want to, again, give our brain a signal of abundance, not of scarcity. And because of the quality of our soils and the quality of our foods, the nutrient density of our foods has been declining. That's where supplements come in. And that's what you want to understand, right? So first, why our diets these days tend to make us hungrier no matter what you do. The first is soil. The second one is we didn't have any nutrition and food education. And that just means that most people walk around not really understanding what a balanced diet is, what diet has the potential to provide all the nutrients their bodies need in order to thrive. Again, there are more than 30 nutrients and we are discovering new ones. Still, nutrition is a very young science. The first vitamins were discovered at the beginning of 20th century, and we're still learning and understanding all the nutrients we need. They say that we need different phytochemicals for our brain, for example, to be able to function later in our life. So it's not just about even essential vitamins and minerals, it's all those, phytonutrients, antioxidants, etc. But that's for another lesson. What you want to understand is we have no education in our system that teaches people how to eat well to provide all the nutrients. And that's why most people walk around eating stuff, eating calories, but not really getting the nutrients that our bodies need to function. So you might eat a lot of calories, but miss certain nutrients every single day. And because of that, your hunger is going to be upregulated. You're going to be hungrier because your brain's only tool to tell you that you miss something is to make you hungrier. And especially if your diet is not all whole food diets and you have different flavorings, the enhancers of, texture and flavor and foods that are changed in different ways, your brain doesn't even know where to get those nutrients. In ideal world, when your brain would need, let's say, vitamin A, you would get craving for like carrots or chicken livers or sweet potatoes, right? But if you don't really eat a lot of that, or you eat a lot of foods that's been changed and made artificial, your brain doesn't really know anymore where to get any nutrients it needs. So it just upregulates your hunger. And when you miss nutrients on a regular basis, you're going to be going around hungrier, and your brain will want you to eat more and more. And that's, of course, going to make your weight loss journey so much more difficult. So that's factor number one, why so many people are so hungry everywhere in the world, and obesity rates are still going up. And then number three, even if you do understand more or less what's a a balanced diet is, it probably seems to you complex, and you probably don't understand a lot of things, and because of that you don't even try to eat a balanced diet, to design a balanced diet, a simple balanced diet to eat every single day, not once in a while. Or some people's idea is, if I have a salad, then I eat pretty good, or I have a salad and an apple, I'm in pretty good place. That is not the case. And so a lot of people don't even try, even though they might know that their diet is unbalanced and it seems complicated, or it might be too expensive or inconvenient, or you don't know how to eat that balanced diet in a simple way. And that's the third factor why most people's diets are screwed up, so to speak, sending your brain a signal that we are in the environment of scarcity and we'd better eat more, at least get more calories, and pack them up for the rainy day that probably is coming, and keep you a little bit on a flabby side and keeping you there instead of getting into your ideal body weight. So all of that to say that if you want your brain to be your ally in your weight loss efforts, if you want your brain to help you to reset your body weight set point, meaning lower it and stay there in your optimal body weight, you want to send your brain a message that we are in the environment of abundance. And that's why in my program, Brain-Centered Weight Loss, step number 1 is not counting your calories, but starting to eat your essential nutrients. And that starts with the amount of protein you eat on a regular basis and when you eat it and what kind. That starts with getting your essential fats, getting your fiber, getting the amount of carbohydrate that makes sense in your situation. Some people are more active, some people are less active, some people are more insulin sensitive, some people are less, meaning they do better with some carbohydrates, but maybe not too many, and the kind matters. And then I also help people to choose the supplements that make sense in their case. All of that to give your body, your brain, the nutrients that they need. And so your brain now starts feeling like, we get everything we need. There is no need to keep this person hungry and to keep picking up the pounds and to keep staying on a fatter side. So after you introduce these nutrients on a regular basis for usually a week, a couple of weeks, all of a sudden your hunger is down. You don't get as many cravings, and there are other aspects that go into cravings aspect of thing, and we're going to talk about that. But all of a sudden you start feeling like eating less actually is simple, and you actually feel full and you don't want to eat that much, and you're satisfied with your food. And when you're not hungry, when you don't have any cravings, when you eat your food, you don't feel like you need to overeat. All of a sudden, weight loss actually becomes easy. And all of a sudden you start losing weight without even planning for it. All that to say and to conclude, if you want to lose your weight and keep it off, and you don't want to be dieting all the time, don't want to feel like you have to restrict your nutrition all the time, and you kind of want to have a natural sense of hunger that guides you to eat, that tells you when to stop to eat, and you're totally okay with not having any snacks, you feel totally fine. You eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you go about your day, and there is nothing special about food, and you are in your ideal body weight. That's where you want to arrive. And the first step to arrive there, the first step on your journey, is make sure that you have a balanced diet, make sure that you get all of the essential nutrients that we know, that is based on research, that we know our body, our brain need to maintain all the vital functions and to thrive and to get after our goals, to feel our best, to look our best, to make our best decisions. So to sum it up, the first step to ideal body weight that you can maintain for years without feeling like you're on some sort of diet all the time, that you can naturally maintain without thinking about that, is getting all the essential nutrients on a regular basis. And this world is confusing. It would probably take me, 30 episodes, if not more, to tell you all about essential nutrients. And that's why, if you want to have a guidance around eating a balanced diet based on current scientific understanding, that's why I suggest you to book a session with me. This is a complimentary session only for the listeners of this podcast. You gotta mention this podcast if you want to get it, and just email me, Angela@brainbreakthroughcoach.com. My email is in the show notes, so email me, Angela@brainbreakthroughcoach.com. Schedule that session, and after the session, you'll understand what you do wrong when it comes to your efforts to eat a balanced diet. Even if you have, some people don't even have this intention. They don't understand this. This is where your ideal body weight starts, with eating all the essential nutrients. They're important not just for your health, but also for ideal body weight, to get into your ideal body weight and stay there. So schedule your session if you're serious about getting into the best shape of your life and staying there without having to feel like you're on some sort of diet. So schedule your session, Angela@brainbreakthroughcoach.com. The most important takeaway from today, folks, you want to get into your ideal body weight, you got to eat a diet that is rich in all the essential nutrients. Ideally, you get even more of those essential nutrients. So your focus is on nutrient density, not on carbs or fats or calories. That comes into play, if ever, at other times later. Our parents, our grandparents, animals in the wild, they don't count calories, fat, or whatever, and they're totally fine. Now, for animals, the food is scarce, that's understandable. But I want you to understand that the more nutrients you eat, the less there's going to be a need for any sorts of diet. You're going to be in your ideal body weight. Schedule your session, that's number one. Now you understand where you might be going wrong about trying, one diet after another, and you still lose weight and then get it back. Now you understand the first reason why. So stay tuned for the rest of the reasons. We're going to have 3 more episodes. No, actually, we're going to have 4 more episodes on all the pillars of brain-centered weight loss, how to hack your brain or wire your brain for your ideal body weight for life without feeling like you're on any kind of diet. You're going to eat better, but that's not because you're going to consciously restrict yourself. You're just going to feel like it. And that's a completely different game, folks, that a lot of you, most of you will not understand till you get there. So schedule a session to get clarity on what essential nutrients miss in your diet and how, in a simple way, get them in your diet starting today. And folks, if you found this information useful, if you had your aha moment, don't forget to, first of all, give me feedback, reach out on Instagram, reach out on your social media, anywhere you find me. But then also don't forget to share this episode with people, people on your social media, people on your Facebook, in your social circles. Teach it to someone, share it with someone, because when you teach it, you get to understand it better and you internalize it and you own it and you put it into action. So teach it, share this podcast so it reaches more people, rate, review. This is the best thing that you could ever do for me on this podcast. So sign up for a complimentary session as a listener of your Brains Coach podcast. Share this podcast and teach the concept to someone to understand it better, to own it, and to start taking action. That's it for today, folks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you learned some useful things that you'll put into action in your life. And till next time, stay tuned. Have an awesome Wednesday, and I'll talk to you very soon.